Welcome to Toffee TV. It is the match preview. Southampton versus Everton at St Mary's. Premier League football is back, and this is the big chunk now, isn't it? Before the break for the World Cup, and
it stops again.
Yeah, and obviously, so it's obviously important to start it well. We finished before the international break well. Obviously, 1-0 win, but Southampton always. Well, I say always. The last 10 years since they came back to the Premier League, it's been a tricky game, hasn't it? Only 2 wins in that time. The last one was a 2-1 win with Richarlison getting the winner. I was there. A 3-0 win under Roberto Martinez. A fine performance in the green kit. But we've struggled. We've struggled of late. So, how are you seeing this game, Baz?
Yeah, another tough game, and we've lost 7 of the last 9 at St Mary's, or 7 out of the last 9 at St Mary's rather. So it hasn't been a kind place for us to go. But Everton are on a good run at the moment. 6 games unbeaten in all competitions. We've had 2 clean sheets in the last 2 games that we've played, and that'll be something that we're looking to build on. Southampton won their first home game last time at St Mary's against Chelsea, a narrow win. So it'll be tough. It'll be a tough game. They've gone in a slightly different direction this season with buying younger players and stuff. They managed to keep hold of Che Adams. Obviously, Everton were very interested in him. But for us, it's a case of, can we just keep this run going? Keep it nice and tight at one end. Can we nick something on the break at the other? Hopefully, we'll have Dominic Calvert-Lewin back in the squad for that one. That'd be a big boost. Obviously, Maupay getting the winner last time out, which is really good for us and for him. But it'd be better to have Dom in the squad as well. Obviously, then it gives you some more options in the final third.
Yeah, because obviously we've got players missing. It'd be nice to have Dom back. Nice little extra boost. Someone coming off the bench. Obviously, he was close for the West Ham game, but subsequently found out he had a bit of a groin issue. So it'll be interesting to find out whether he can play. We've obviously got Jordan Pickford, who missed the last game, would have obviously missed the Arsenal game if it had happened. So it'll be interesting to find out where he is at the moment. And it just, I think for us, there's a continuity to the side, obviously, which with the injury to Nathan Patterson, obviously he's going to be missing for, up to 6 weeks, let's just say, or there's. It's just knocking another place out, isn't it? Where you want to just keep that team, as together as possible. Let's just have a look at the side that took West Ham on. So obviously Begovic in goal. They had Patterson at right back. Do you see many changes in that side ahead of this game?
I think obviously if Jordan Pickford is back, he will play as good as Begovic did in the last game. I think Pickford will play. Obviously, Seamus Coleman will come in for Nathan Patterson, I imagine, at right back. And then everybody else, no, I wouldn't touch the rest of it. And that, even if Dominic Calvert-Lewin's fit, wouldn't make any difference to me. I think it's having him on the bench would be really good news for us, like I said before. Neil Maupay, 100% deserves his starting place. After getting the winner last time out, he was brilliant. Took his goal brilliantly rather than worked hard. So no, I wouldn't be making any changes other than, like you say, Pickford has to play. He's been in top form. He's got to play if he's fit. And obviously Seamus is in through necessity. So even if Everton would have had a full strength squad, which we don't know what that is, but if we would have had a full strength squad, I wouldn't have been making any changes anyway. Because when you look at it, where are you making those changes, really? I think there's only really Dominic Calvert-Lewin who you could argue would get into that side over Neil Maupay. But then Maupay's done really well the last 2 games. So then is it a case of, do we move, say, Anthony Gordon out the side for Maupay to play wide? Well, that's changing a little bit of the way you're doing things. And obviously we'd like Anthony Gordon to get more goals and get more assists. Of course he would. He had an assist in midweek for the under-21s for Conor Gallagher's goal, which will do him the world of good. And then you have, you know, the likes of James Garner, who come in on deadline day. We've not seen him yet. He was sub last time out against West Ham. He went away with the under-21s and he played a little bit of the first game and played 70-odd minutes against Germany, didn't he? In the second game, he did really well. So, you know, he's potentially knocking on the door. But then are you really splitting up a midfield three, which looks quite good at the moment?
Yeah, but going back to Seamus Coleman, though, I think, you know, it makes sense he starts the game. He is the backup right back. He played most of last season. Okay, yeah, he got injuries and we had to cope with that, and that the likes of Joe Kenny had to fill in there. But he is the backup right back, and it's right that he should play. Otherwise, you know, I've heard different people, you know, mentioning changing players out of position and moving things around, but you want to keep that continuity, don't you? You want to keep what has been aside for the last 5 or 6 games, which has grown to the point of winning against West Ham. You've got to keep as much of that as possible. And I think, yes, we're going to miss Nathan Patterson, and we don't have anyone else who can fill in that space. So with Seamus coming in, with Conor Cody and James Tarkowski next to him and Michalenko, then you've got the continuity there. You've got Garner in midfield as well, which will help Seamus Coleman on that side as well. And you know, for me, that's the point of when people talk about having a squad and bringing players in, and that's why you should always look to improve and then knock down the fellows in that place. And then if they have to come in as the backup, then that's what happens. And Seamus Coleman is the perfect backup right now. He's got all the experience. He knows the job, and yeah, he's not going to be quite Nathan Patterson. He isn't going to be, you know, he might not give you that little thing that Patterson had. Certainly, you know, West Ham had a last-ditch save and tackle to get you over the line and things like that. But you have to
far up the pitch though.
No, but you have to adjust accordingly, don't you? You have to change the little things in your game, and there's no point throwing out, you know, the baby with the bathwater. You've got to look at the situation and go, right, well, we have to adjust. This guy is our backup right back now. He's got bags of experience. He goes in and he does a job, and we have to use all that experience. So for me, you know, he goes in on Saturday, no brainer. He had 15 minutes for Ireland over the weekend. Okay, would have liked him to have a little bit more, but you know, he's fresh, coming off the back of an injury. You know, he'll work hard, he trains hard, and we have to get on with it.
Seamus still a good defender, still good 1v1. Yeah, he's not going to be the same as Patterson. He's not going to be raiding up and down that right-hand side all day. But then again, it's not like Nathan Patterson's been scoring goals and getting assists, so we're taking a big chunk of that out the side. What we're getting is someone who will do his job at right back. It will be slightly different, of course it will. You know, Patterson is the switch sometimes, isn't he, with the balls over the top. Not to say Seamus can't join in every now and again, but I imagine he'll be more focused on making sure we're tight at the back. So it's not ideal, because Patterson is the youth, it's the energy, that's what we want to see. But Seamus, I've seen a lot of people, you know, talking about Seamus as if he's awful, as if he's, you know, Cuca Martina levels or something. He's a good defender. He's coming to the end. He knows he's coming to the end. He's not stupid, but he's still a good sub. He's a good addition. He's a good squad player to have right now. And then I imagine Stanley Mills will be on the bench.
That's what I was going to say.
Back him up.
You take it week by week, don't you? We know Patterson's going to be out. You take it week by week. You see what happens. You know, when Mason Holgate, you know, could be back in the next few weeks as well. Possibly, I don't know how close he is. He was supposed to be on similar trajectory as Yerry Mina, and Yerry Mina's apparently back in the next 10 days, according to South American media. So there could be a case that Mason Holgate comes back, and then he's an option as well, if needed. But for now, I think Seamus Coleman just goes in, fills the role, and certainly for an away game where you're just trying to have that clean sheet again, and allowing players like, you know, in front of him, Anthony Gordon or Damari Gray to do what they're going to do. So
if Everton get a clean sheet at the weekend, then I think that's sound. I think if I want to win, 100%, I want to go for the win. So if we come away with a draw, then you just keep, this season's about building and obstacles that come in your way, finding solutions for them so that the team builds up, and can we knock down this challenge, and how can we knock down that challenge? Well, we had to tighten up Last season we were just porous. Goals were flying in everywhere, set pieces were flying in everywhere. We had nothing at the top end once Charlison and Don were injured. So we were already starting the game, basically a goal down. And then knowing we didn't have anything in it, hence why we had 1 win in 14.
Yeah.
This season, obviously, Frank Lampard and the coaching staff have decided let's do it very much what David Moyes would do, which is let's start from a solid base. It's what all, in all fairness, it's what the top sides have always done. It's that get your defence right and then everything else comes with it. Now, okay, we haven't got the resources of the top teams in the final third, but if you're keeping clean sheets, then at least you're getting a point out of a game. This is there for the, don't get me wrong, all that being said, this game is here for the taking. These aren't great. They're a tough game because they will be. They'll feel like they can win, of course they will. But so we should be going there now and thinking, well, we know we're going to be in it.
Yeah.
Can we get something?
It's tricky because it's obviously coming off the back of an international break as well, and there's less preparation time. You haven't got much time with the plays. You've got to travel, and it makes it a little bit trickier. But that's why I'm saying that continuity is so important going into these games. Not changing too much. Just putting if a player's out, put a replacement player in. Don't start mixing, too much. And the same if Dom's available, if he is available, put him on the bench. Let him come off the bench, and obviously he's missed a lot of football anyway, so it wouldn't be right to, I don't think, to just stick him straight into the team. But, keep that continuity that got us 3 points in the last game anyway, and I think that's what served as well in the last few games, having a settled team. Yeah,
that's everyone knows the jobs then, don't they? I don't think Dominic, even if he's fit, Dominic Calvert-Lewin's not starting anyway. But it's good to have him on the bench. You start looking at the bench then and going, we've got options in midfield, we've got options in the final third, we've got players on the bench at the back as well. So we're well covered there. Then are you staying in the game long enough to go, let's actually go and win it with Dom? Let's see if Dom can nick us something. Can Everton get a couple of goals up anyway? And then can we ride it out? It's all of those things that Frank Lampard I think's trying to bring in. Like you said before, these will be tough because they are. It's a tricky place to go, but they're not Manchester City. Or Liverpool, or a game like that where it's you know that it's going to be a real tough afternoon for you. It can be.
Yeah.
You think back to, I think it was Frank Lampard's second away game or something last season, wasn't it? And we went there and we just didn't perform. The first half was okay until Alan got booked, and once he got booked he couldn't tackle, and that was it. Then Southampton got a grip of it, and then we had the goal disallowed, didn't we, just after the break, which would have been nice, but it didn't quite pan out like that, and they ended up winning the game. But it was tight for a long time in that game. We've got to go there, express ourselves. Can we get in front and ask questions of them? Then that's the big thing. And then once you're asking questions of them, are they good enough to respond?
I think a large part of last season when we played there was the midfield, wasn't it? You just mentioned Alan. Alan gets a stupid booking on the halfway line, but then also Gomez was so slow in the game, and
the poor game.
He was awful, and you look at the
poor game.
Yeah, you look at the makeup of those positions now. It's completely different. So, but let's have a little look at Southampton's team. They obviously last time out got beat 1-0 by Aston Villa.
They brought in Bazunu.
Yeah, a lot of youngsters.
He's a good goalie. He's a good keeper. We know that. We know Kyle Walker-Peters is very active up and down that right-hand side, isn't he? But I think Salisu, as decent as he is, could be Gora, definitely. Che Adams, someone who Everton are very interested in. A lot of energy from
Ball prowess.
And ball prowess is obviously any set play you give away around the box and corners with him is always a threat. Yeah. Always a threat. So we'll have to...
Yeah, they're a very hard-working side, aren't they? They give everything. Yeah. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. And obviously they're you mentioned before, Che Adams, someone who was linked with Everton. Let's just have a look at his numbers. So 6 games, 2 goals, no assists, 1.8 shots per game. Got the winning goals at Leicester, I think, in that win. And really, with someone Everton obviously looked at, someone who runs the channels well, someone who's he's not massive physical presence, but I do think he's come on in the last couple of years, added to that playing games for Scotland as well, and he has come on since they bought him from Birmingham, and he brings other players into the game as well. He's not a massive goal scorer, but he brings other players into the game and can be that danger. And obviously with that movement, and obviously we'll have 3 players at the back who are touching 30 or over 30. There's a little bit lack of pace, and he'll try to exploit that. And he, as I said, you got to be careful, because if he does win the likes of the set pieces as well, world prowess it's just someone to keep an eye on.
Definitely. I mean, Everton are defending very deep, obviously, with the likely to with Conor Cogley and Tarkowski, but that's fine. So you're not giving a lot of space in behind. It's not like we've been done over the top time and time again, have we? We had a couple of issues with Brentford, and I think we've kind of sorted that by the time we went to Leeds a few days later. So we haven't left loads of space in behind. Not having that recovery pace of Ben Godfrey, obviously you can't do it. But those two lads at the heart of the defence, both 29, you're touching the 30, they're still 29, youthful 29s. They're experienced, Seamus Coleman, very experienced. So this is why I think if Jordan Pickford's back as well, just with his kicking and things like that, and his communication, I think that helps. But Southampton will be a handful. Che Adams is a hard-working centre-forward. He's a lad who scored, obviously, 20-odd goals for Birmingham. Southampton took him. He couldn't score at first, showing that gap in the Premier League and the Championship. But last couple of years, he's got more durable. Yeah. He's a handful. He's, 8 to 10 goals a season. Bit like Maupay. Yeah. That done really well in the Championship. Adam Armstrong's another one Southampton have got, scored against Chelsea last time out. He's another one. Done very well in the Championship at Blackburn. Hasn't really translated it into the Premier League. Did score against Everton last season at Goodison. But they've got players, they've got players who can hurt you. But we've got players who can hurt you.
Do you think Frank Lampard, as we go forward, and maybe starting with this game, has to start looking at those players he's gone on the bench as well? Just seeing James Garner playing for the under-21s, decent performance for England, 21, sorry. Decent performance, good on the ball, shots, set pieces. Do you think someone like that, the manager has to maybe start looking at a little bit more just during the games? Because I think so far we've seen he's been quite reluctant. When you look at the bench, you can understand why. But he's getting more of a shape of a squad that he wants. Do you think he has to start maybe trusting those players a little bit more to just get that little bit extra?
Yeah, because your substitutes can win games. The match winners sometimes, aren't they? It's key, and I understand there's certain aspects of it. You look and say, for argument's sake, Alex Iwobi's running all over the pitch. Who's on the bench? Alan has been in the past. He's right, we put him on, he's not the same, can't run up and down, or Tom Davies, as good as Tom Davies has done at times this season. He's not Alex Iwobi. But now Everton have got Abdoulaye Doucouré on the bench, who maybe doesn't use the ball as well, but he gets around the pitch really well. James Garner has got a different skill set. He's someone who set pieces is dangerous, good passer of the ball, mobile, so he's another choice. So all of a sudden you've got two lads sat on the bench who could actually play in our midfield. That's an option. Then you'll have Dominic Calvert-Lewin hopefully there, so you're going, well, is Maupay being in this game, or is Anthony Gordon in this game? Is he doing enough? Anthony Gordon's had 2 poor games, the last 2 games for Everton, but then he's gone and got an assist for England, which will give him confidence. So the manager does have to look at the bench and think, where can we win this game? If the 11 on the pitch aren't doing it, he's gone after, and it might just be confidence with him. The more he gets of those first choice players back, and Everton have had 8 injuries already this season to players who would play. It's a lot, and a lot of them have been in games. The more of those he gets back when he's got genuine options on the bench, then of course you have to use them, because everybody else is. Pep Guardiola, Jurgen Klopp, they don't panic about taking a player off who's really good. We've had to in the past, because it's felt like we've had 11 players and the subs are just nowhere near. Well, he's starting to get players who you could argue could fight to get in that team over someone else. So you might see a situation, and I don't really like doing this, but there might be a situation where he looks and thinks, Anthony Gordon's not on this today. I'm going to push Alex Iwobi there because he can do it, and I'm going to put James Garner on, for argument's sake, to get on the ball a little bit. I don't really want that to happen, because I want Iwobi to stick with a position. But someone like Alex Iwobi does give you... I mean, in fact, against West Ham, he done that, didn't he? Alex Iwobi went and played a bit higher up, and Abdoulaye Doucouré come on. So there is those options as short-term solutions within a game. And I think once we get to January, they'll be looking to bring in forward and the winger anyway,
Yeah,
so
yeah.
to give them even more
It'd
strength.
be an interesting option, won't it? Because obviously, someone like James Garnett, the set pieces, what we've seen from him so far in the past, Forest and stuff. That can be an option as well, and so it'd be interesting. I think he does have to start as we move forward having trust in his players, because a lot of them are his players now. So that'll be an interesting one going forward. But it's a tough game. It's, it always. I don't know, it just always seems a tough game playing them, so I'm expecting nothing less, and as you said before, if we can get a clean sheet out of it, then we'll start from that. And I think that, to me, that's got to be
sensible, isn't it?
At the moment what we're looking for. And I think big part of that for me in this game is first 20 minutes, get all the, not played for a couple of weeks, get all the little, because we've seen this against West Ham, because we hadn't played for a couple of weeks, it was just little,
open and sweaty.
We were a little bit open as well, so let's get through the first 20 minutes, settle everyone down, and then hopefully, go forward. And
let's hope VAR's working properly this year. Should have been given a penalty in the first 2 or 3 minutes.
Well,
last year,
the handball. The handball.
No, I think you're right. Can we just grind a few results out there over the next few weeks? I'm happy with that. We need to add quality final third. I think everyone watching this, every Blue watching this would agree and say, yeah, we need another winger who could get on the end of things. Kudus has been one. Cody Gakpo scored for Holland in midweek, so another kind of one. He was linked with both of these teams. Southampton actually had a bid for him. Been turned down, so someone like that in January. But just right now, just keep nicking results, build the confidence, be a little bit more expansive, and then the goals will come. And then that's when you then start becoming a team where you look at any game and think we can go there and get a result because we're nice and solid, we're competitive. But you're right, opening 20, don't give them any encouragement, get on top of it, and hopefully we'll come out victorious.
Yeah, there you go. Let us know your thoughts in the comments on this one. Is there someone else you'd like to see it right back? Let us know.
We're not doing any stats now.
No, not doing any stats because we stopped the stats and we've done all right.
Yeah.
Okay, we've done all right.
Leave it.
Just leave them over there.
Yeah.
There you go. Give this video a like, subscribe if you haven't already. If you want more videos, live exclusives, jump over to Toffee TV Premier. The link is in the description. And the QR code will be on the screen in a moment. See you later.